I went no contact with my mother and then my grandfather, and it all happened in stages. And that's usually what happens. We go no contact with the main abuser and then realize that in a narcissistic family system or cult, that nobody is actually on our side and that they are all part of the problem, even if they weren't the ones who were actively abusive. My children were 6 and 3, and my third child was not even a thought yet. So 2 of them did have exposure and even bonds to that side of the family, particularly my daughter, who was the golden child. And because of that, because she was being groomed by my mother for that division and all of those things that we know happen, and my son was going to be not the scapegoat, more like the one that was completely invisible, she had a different level of, I guess, longing for that relationship. She missed my mother, and rightfully so. She didn't have a reason not to miss her. So with all 3 of my children, there would be questions over time at different stages and ages, which is what you're asking about. My normal answer to them would be that my mother wasn't nice to me, that she hurt me, that she was very angry as a mother, and that I was afraid of her, and that I didn't feel safe around her, and I didn't feel safe allowing them to be around her. How do you feel about that? What does that make you think of? Making sure that we're checking in on these conversations. And those answers actually are age appropriate for pretty much all ages, maybe in different wording. And those answers, which are honest, lead to less questions, because it's enough for our children to know that we're keeping them safe and that we want to be safe as well. When it came to why I ran away from home and ended up living on the streets, my kids were older at that point in time. And so the information would be more specific, that I grew up in a household where there was sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and physical abuse. And because of that, because I felt I had no place to turn, I did have no place to turn, I ended up running away from home. And if I had thought about it, I would have stayed, because I ended up being hurt on the streets as well, because I didn't want my kids getting in their mind that running away was a good thing, that both solutions were bad solutions, but that was the least of the bad. In my opinion, that's how I felt about it. And these dialogues always allowed my children to come to me with any questions that they had. And interestingly enough, even though they knew that, I came to find out that years later, they still had questions. Because when I wrote my book, my son came to me and said, I finally have all the answers to the questions I never wanted to hurt you with.